Alex Eala falls to Czech qualifier Valentova in Japan Women's Open. The arena lights glowed against a cool October night in Osaka, Japan. The crowd was alive with energy, clapping, chanting, waving flags of different colors. Among them, a sea of red and blue rippled with pride as Filipino fans stood tall to witness their homegrown tennis hero, Alex Eala, take the court once more. This was supposed to be another confidence step in her remarkable 2025 season. The Japan Women's Open, a WTA 250 event that could further solidify her rise into the world's tennis elite. But on that humid Osaka evening, fate wrote a different story. Across the net stood Teresa Valentova, a Czech qualifier who had fought through preliminary rounds with a fearless brand of tennis. Barely 18, tall, powerful, and unknown to many casual fans, she embodied every trait that makes tennis so unpredictable. Youthful hunger, unshakable composure, and nothing to lose. When the dust settled, Valentova had stunned the crowd and silenced the hopeful chants. Final score, 6-2, 6-4. Alex Eala, the pride of the Philippines, had fallen to a rising Czech star. The build-up, rising expectations rocket. Heading into Osaka, Eala had momentum on her side. Her summer season had been her best yet. Deep runs in the Wuhan Open, a top 60 WTA ranking, and a growing global fan base. Analysts praised her consistency and mental strength. She had become known for fighting back, even when her back was against the wall. Her arrival in Japan was met with excitement. Media outlets hailed her as Asia's brightest young hope. She entered the draw as a seeded player, confident, determined, and poised for another breakthrough. But tennis, as always, is a sport of inches. The difference between triumph and heartbreak is often a single moment, a fraction too early on the swing, a few centimeters too long on a return. And in Osaka, those inches belonged to Valentova. The match, fire and frustration fire. From a very first point, the tone was clear. Valentova wasn't intimidated. The Czech teen played like she belonged, blasting forehand winners with reckless precision. Her first serve, crisp and flat, often reached 190 kilometers per hour. She didn't give Eala time to construct points, instead forcing her into defensive scrambles. Eala, as always, fought back. Her footwork was electric, her anticipation sharp, but Valentova's rhythm was relentless. In 33 minutes, the first set was gone, 6-2. The Filipino section of the crowd stayed loud, chanting, "Laban, Alex, Laban," a rallying cry that had carried her through so many battles. In the second set, Eala adjusted, slicing to disrupt the pace, mixing deep topspin with strategic drop shots. For a while, it worked. She broke Valentova's serve to go up 3-2, and for a moment, Osaka roared with renewed hope. But Valentova responded like a veteran. She found another gear, broke back instantly, then held serve with a series of unreturnable aces. At 5-4, she stepped up to serve a match. Eala fought off one match point with a daring backhand winner. The second went long after a grueling 17-shot rally. On the third, a heavy Czech serve kissed the line, unreturnable. Game, set, and match. Teresa Valentova defeats Alex Eala, 6-2, 6-4. The crowd exhaled. The Czech teenager raised her arms. Eala smiled softly, walked the net, and offered her hand. Grace, even in defeat, that's her trademark. The quiet walk back broken heart. After every loss, there's a moment no camera captures. The quiet walk down the tunnel. Eala, towel draped around her neck, looked calm. But inside, her heart thudded. She had wanted this win, not for points or headlines, but for the rhythm, the momentum that every athlete craves. She sat in the locker room, staring at the stats sheet. Aces, Valentova 9, Eala 2. Winners, Valentova 28, Eala 15. Break points converted, Valentova 4-5, Eala 1/4. Numbers told part of the story. But the truth lay deeper. Valentova had simply played the match of her life. Her coach, resting a hand on her shoulder, whispered, "It wasn't your day. But remember, the best players don't avoid losses. They outgrow them." Eala nodded. She wasn't angry. She was already planning her next move. The shock waves across the tennis world, globe show in Europe, Africa. When news of the upset broke, it rippled through the tennis community. ESPN Tennis. Czech qualifier Tereza Valentova stuns rising star Alex Eala in straight sets. WTA Insider. Eala's early exit marks reminder of depth in women's tennis. Philippine Star. Heartbreak in Japan, but Eala's spirit remains unbroken. Social media exploded. Filipino fans flooded timelines with words of pride and support. Heads up, Alex. We're still proud of you, Philippines. Even heroes fall, but they always rise again. Even rival players chimed in. Coco Gauff posted a fire emoji and wrote, "She'll bounce back stronger." Always does. The Czech meteor. Who is Tereza Valentova? Shooting star. Tereza Valentova, the 18-year-old who toppled Eala, had arrived in Osaka as a qualifier ranked outside the top 150. She had no expectation of headlines, just opportunity. Her game is built on fearless aggression, deep returns, flat shots, and a powerful two-handed backhand reminiscent of Petra Kvitova. Coaches describe her as ice under pressure. Her victory over Eala wasn't luck. It was a statement. Alex is such a good player. Valentova said in her post-match interview, "I had to play my best tennis. Today, everything clicked." Her words were humble, but her intent was clear. She wanted the world to know her name, and she succeeded. The anatomy of defeat brain. For every athlete, a loss like this carries a deeper layer of meaning. For Eala, it wasn't about rankings or statistics. It was about momentum, identity, and growth. After Osaka, she sat down with her team to review not just tactics, but mindset. Where could she adjust? Where could she evolve? They noticed something subtle. During rallies over 9 shots, Eala had won most points. But when exchanges stayed under 5, Valentova dominated. The solution was clear: control the pace. If she could dictate the rhythm early, she could tilt the match in her favor, something to take into her next tournaments. Defeat, in that sense, became data. A loss became a lesson. Reflections in the mirror crescent moon. Later that night, back in her Osaka hotel room, Eala stood before the mirror. She looked at her reflection. The dawn of redemption sunrise. Weeks later, as she trained under the Spanish sun, Eala's energy felt different, sharper, focused. Every backhand she struck echoed with purpose. Every sprint to the net carried resolve. The loss in Osaka wasn't dragging her down. It was lifting her higher. She posted on social media, "Falling short only means there's more to climb. I'm still grateful for every match, every fan, and every lesson. The journey continues." Red Heart, Philippines. The comments flooded in, thousands strong. Fans didn't just see a player. They saw a fighter. Epilogue. The spark that never fades fire. When history looks back on Alex Eala's career, the headlines won't linger on Osaka or the losses. They'll speak of a girl who carried her country's hopes on her shoulders and played with unyielding courage. They'll speak of the time she fell to Czech qualifier and came back stronger, wiser, hungrier. They'll speak of the fire that refused to go out, because true greatness isn't built on victories alone. It's built on what you do after you fall. And Alex Eala, she's already getting back up. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.